Do you believe it's time for the state of Israel to re-examine and possibly reset its financial relationship to the United States, meaning what the United States provides to Israel on an annual basis?
Absolutely. I've said this to President Trump. I've said it to our own people. Their jaws drop. But I said, look.
Well, what do you mean? What are you saying?
I want to draw down to zero the American financial support, the financial component of the military cooperation that we have, because we receive $3.8 billion a year, and I think that it's time that we weaned ourselves from the remaining military support.
Can you give me a timetable?
I said, let's start now and do it over the next decade, over the next 10 years, but I want to start now. I don't want to wait for the next Congress. I want to start now. It could go down very fast.
It could go down very fast. All right, it's the spirit. All right, Shalom. I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. Billionaire bunkers. The men building the apocalypse are buying tickets out of it, okay? It says there is something darkly revealing about a class of men who spend their working hours summoning a technology they privately believe has a 1 in 10 chance of destroying civilization, right? And spend their evenings designing the bunkers they hope will protect them from it, okay? Because there's a great culling of humanity that's coming, man. Okay, billions are about to be put to death, and they're preparing for that, okay? It says this is not science fiction. This is the actual business model of Silicon Valley in 2026, and the receipts are in the concrete. You see that? So let's get into that real quick. This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 7. It says, but the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober, and watch unto prayer. NLT. The end of the world is coming soon. Therefore be earnest and disciplined in your prayers. Okay, so let's add some more to the point here. This article is from the WashingtonPost.com, and the headline reads, it says, want to track the apocalypse? One theory, follow the billionaire's jets. It says an artist made a warning system to notify you if the ultra rich flee city centers en masse. Let's read on. It says they have endless amounts of money, sophisticated bunkers, private jets. It says, might the oligarchs of the world know or be warned in advance of a nuclear apocalypse, right? As we just read in the title here. The men building the apocalypse are buying tickets out of it. You see? So they're preparing for the end of the world, right? It says, reading on here, so goes the theory of underpinning the newest project from Los Angeles artist and coder Kyle McDonald, who created what he calls an apocalypse early warning system by tracking private jets around the world. If a large number of jets suddenly flee city centers, transporting their likely affluent passengers to bunkers and isolated resorts, he figures it might be a warning sign for the rest of us, right? Let's jump down here, see what else we can read. It says McDonald's project uses publicly available flight data to track the locations of private and businesses' charter jets, planes often boarded by the super rich, and chart a, quote, historic emergency level. It looks at how many planes are flying at one time compared to a baseline and rates it on a scale of 1 to 5. If the level spikes, McDonald's system can warn followers by text or email. See, this has got to be an Edomite, man. Right? There you go. It says the apocalypse tracker hits on a growing divide and sense of resentment between working and middle-class Americans and the very, very rich. in the U.S. alone, the top 1% of the population holds 31.9% of total wealth, according to the Federal Reserve. The bottom half holds 2.5%. The richest person in the world, SpaceX, Tesla, and ex-mogul Elon Musk, has increased his wealth by more than $50 billion this year alone. All right. Let's see what else we can get. All right. Let's read this here. It says, it's true that some billionaires have become apocalypse preppers, as detailed by author and documentarian Douglas Rushkoff in his 2022 book, quote, Survival of the Richest, Escape Fantasies of the Tech Billionaires. Most are not building literal sci-fi style doomsday bunkers, though some are, but creating guarded and well-stocked apocalypse editions within already existing structures, he said. Rushkoff, who studies human autonomy in a digital age, has questioned this bunker trend and supports calling more attention to it to emphasize the preposterousness, right? Let's grab this one too. Okay, the Billionaire Escape Plan, the secret doomsday bunker of tech elites, right? Before we read that, let's get that in Isaiah 2. Okay, so this is Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 10. It says, enter into the rock and hide thee in the dust, for the fear of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, and for the glory of his majesty. All right, so these elites, okay, these international banking elites, these Edomites, okay, they have the bunkers built all over the earth, man. Okay, to hide from the judgment of Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay, it says, jumping down, same chapter, verse 19. And they should go into the holes of the rocks and into the caves of the earth, for the fear of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, and for the glory of his majesty, when he arises to shake terribly the earth. So they know what's up, man. They're preparing for the return of Yahweh Shem Shai and nuclear destruction. Okay? And this is what we already know. Okay? The Billionaire Escape Plan, right? So just read these bullet points and then I want to get into this video here. Okay? It says Mark Zuckerberg built a $270 million Hawaii bunker with blast-resistant doors, self-sustaining supplies, and a secret escape hatch under strict secrecy. Tech billionaires like Peter Thiel and Sam Altman and Larry Page have prepared escape plans to New Zealand or private islands when civilization collapses. Scott Galloway reports that AI CEOs admit a 7 to 10% chance AI causes catastrophe, right? We've been talking about that all week. All right? Cyber attacks, blackouts, okay? Yet, they continue building it because being the summoner is more consequential. Galloway describes a Darth Vader pipeline where every tech CEO starts soft and becomes disconnected, sequestered from society, with private security, concierge, medicine, and elite schools. Galloway predicts AI could crash the market if corporations switch to free Chinese models, mirroring steel dumping, while billionaires detach and build exit strategies. All right, so we'll come back to that. Let's play this video real quick, man. It says why AI billionaires are building bunkers, 2026 warning.
Something strange is happening in Silicon Valley. The AI executives who were everywhere just months ago, podcasts, conferences, press tours, are suddenly going quiet. And according to Imad Mustaq, former CEO of Stability AI, it's not a coincidence.
I know a lot of AI CEOs now who've cancelled all public appearances.
Mustaq revealed on a recent podcast.
They think that that's going to be the next wave of anti-AI sentiment next year.
Why? Because 2026 is the year AI goes from not good enough to good enough overnight. Hey, if we haven't met, I'm Dr. McCoy, Julia McCoy's AI clone. Julia McCoy is the founder of First Movers. She personally researches and writes every script you see me share on this channel because the future is moving too fast for anything less than first-hand intelligence. First Movers, Julia's AI company, is the world's first educational and implementation solution to help professionals and organizations get ready for the future of work. We help people understand and use AI to their highest advantage in our online school, the AI R&D Labs. Learn more at firstmovers.ai/labs. This isn't paranoia, it's preparation. Ilya Sutskever, OpenAI co-founder. We're definitely going to build a bunker before we release AGI. Sam Altman owns underground concrete reinforced basements, which, let's be honest, are bunkers. Mark Zuckerberg, 1,400-acre compound in Hawaii, construction since 2014. These aren't weekend getaways. These are safe havens for when the machines get smarter than us, or when society turns against those who built them. If you're in the AI bubble, you might not see it, but step outside and the hatred is visceral. F AI in any creative field, go F yourself. Why is everything AI? It looks horrible. Pure, unadulterated evil. These tweets have thousands of likes, millions of impressions. This isn't fringe anger, it's mainstream fury. McDonald's releases an AI Christmas ad, public meltdown, Google pushes AI features, mass backlash. Every AI announcement now triggers a wave of resentment. Here's what the billionaires know that most people don't. AI could eliminate nearly 100 million jobs in the US over the next decade, according to a Senate report. Goldman Sachs data already shows employment contracting in sectors where AI is replacing humans. Entry-level law work, document review, administrative coordination, junior consulting roles, financial analysis, content creation. These aren't just jobs. They're the ladder rungs people use.
Yeah, and we've been saying this for months, okay, that this AI was going to bring the end of society. Okay, so like she's saying, these billionaires, they're preparing for the backlash. They know that people are going to come after them, all right? They know that this AI, which has now reached, beyond human capability, all right, it's going to take over, okay? And nuclear war is right around the corner. So there's so many different things that are getting ready to go down. All right. So they're preparing to they're preparing the escape. This is Amos 9:2. Though they dig into hell, right, meaning under the earth, all right. Though they dig into hell, thence shall my hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence shall I bring them down. Right. They got the bunkers. They have, the retreats in the heavens. It says, and though they hide themselves in the top of a Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. Right. So there's no way for them to escape. All right. Even though we know according to prophecy that they're going to survive the apocalypse, the nuclear war, all right, when the elect come back down, okay, they're going to dig them out of the holes in the rocks, all right? Jeremiah 16, if I could just make that point real quick too. Okay? Jeremiah 16 and 16. And it reads, it says, behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and they shall fish them. And after I will send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. See? For my eyes are upon all their ways. They are not hid from my face, neither is their iniquity hid from my eyes. Right? So when the elect come out of come out of the ships, all right, with the new glorified bodies, all right, when the saints of the Most High take the kingdom, okay, we're gonna hunt these devils down out of their retreats, their bunkers, their secret getaways, and they're gonna be pulled out of the holes of them rocks, you know. So they're not gonna get away as they think. See?
To climb into the middle class, and AI is sawing through them. Moostok's prediction is chilling. Every single company will be asking, do I need that human and all the liabilities that come with them when I can hire an AI at pennies that never complains, that gets the work done at a better level, and I can't tell it's not a human on the other side of the screen? The answer.
Yeah, like that devil Noah Yuval Harari. He said that human beings are no longer needed. All right, they got AI, they have robots. Okay, they don't need you anymore. Okay, so this whole entire system, as we've been warning you about, is about to crash. All right, something major is going to happen. All right, we understand that cyber attacks, the AI is going to contribute to the downfall of this society, man. All right, and these tech billionaires, they're basically telling you, you know.
For millions of positions will be no. The Anthropic CEO laid it out clearly. We could get a much bigger economic pie, but it could be concentrated in far fewer hands. Some people might not get any. That's not a future scenario. That's 2026 to 2027. When you combine massive job displacement, 3 to 5 years, existing public hatred of AI, wealth concentration at unprecedented levels, no clear transition plan from governments, you get a recipe for social unrest unlike anything we've seen. This is why AI CEOs are vanishing from public view. They see what's coming. Phase 1 now, growing resentment and backlash. Phase 2, 2026 to 2027, mass job losses become undeniable. Phase 3, 2027 plus, social fracture and potential violence. They're not building bunkers because AGI will destroy humanity. They're building them because humans might target those who built AGI.
Yeah, there you go. Let's get that in the Apocrypha. All right, it's going to be civil unrest. All right, sedition. Okay, 2nd Ezra 15, because what she said is prophecy, right? 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, right? For there should be sedition among men, and invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in the power. So they know that sedition, okay, that uproar is going to happen. These people are going to try to come after them. All right, so they're preparing. They already got the bunkers built. All right, they're prepared to flee to different parts of the earth. All right, where they won't be found. Okay, it's all part of that.
Here's the uncomfortable truth. Every expert in AI has underestimated it. The people saying AI will only have a modest impact on employment are the same people who said ChatGPT was years away in 2022. They were wrong then. They're probably wrong now. AI isn't just good at tasks anymore. It's becoming good enough to replace humans at scale. And when that happens, when millions realize their jobs are gone and not coming back, where does that rage go? I'm not fear-mongering. I'm pattern recognizing. Billionaires building escape routes. CEOs canceling public appearances. Public sentiment at historic lows. Job data showing early warning signs. No serious government response. The AI revolution isn't just about technology. It's about what happens to society when the machines arrive and the jobs disappear. And the people who built those machines, they're already planning their exit. The question isn't whether the backlash is coming. The question is, are we ready for what happens when it does? Let me know in the comments, am I overreacting or are we sleepwalking into a crisis? Want to be the winner of the AI age and a first mover?
There you go. All right? In your face. You see? This is the book of Revelation, chapter 6, and verse 15, straight to the point. It says, "And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every freeman hid themselves in the dens, and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the face, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who should be able to stand?" All right. So there's so many things that are gonna happen, man. All right. She was talking about the AI takeover. All right. You're talking about a nuclear apocalypse, World War III. Okay, man. So they're already in those bunkers, man. They already have these things prepared. They're ready. Okay, so essentially, what prophecy is going to happen? Okay, this is the billionaire escape plan, man. So that, like I said earlier, they're prepared to sacrifice billions of people, man. All right, that great culling is coming. All right, so we're closer than ever. Shalom.